I'm Anil Kumar, and here is a practice question for you on arithmetic series using the basic formulas. I've also written the formulas right on the top, since to start with you may not remember them. So you should always keep them in front. If you look at them 10 times, you will always remember them. So the first formula is S of n equals to n times 2a plus n minus 1 times d divided by 2. The second one is average of the two numbers, first and the last number, times the number of numbers. So that is how I read the second formula, where the nth term is a plus n minus 1 times d, and n belongs to natural numbers, right? So let's begin by answering these questions. The first question here is determine the sum of first 20 terms of the arithmetic series in which t1 is minus 103 and t2 is minus 110. And part B is T1 is 31 and T2 is 109, right? So these are two different questions. You can now pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestion. Well, I've taken these two questions specifically so that I can once again tell you which formula to use when. Now here the question is determine the sum of first 20 terms. That means we want to find S of 20, right? Of arithmetic series. So whatever we are given here, they are arithmetic series. T1, we should strictly use the word arithmetic sequence. Let me correct here, right? So determine the sum of first 20 terms of the arithmetic sequence in which, because generally whenever we are talking about terms, it is a sequence, right? Okay, so T1 is minus 103 and T2 is minus 1110. Since we know A for us is equals to minus 103, we know T2. From there we can find the common difference, right? So what is common difference? D will be T2 minus T1. Is it okay? So in our case it is going to be minus 110 take away minus 103, right? So this minus and minus becomes plus. So it is minus 110 plus 103. So we get the value as minus 7. It is definitely decreasing further, right? Decreasing by 7 each time. So D is minus 7. You know N is 20 since you want to find sum of first 20 terms. Now knowing A, N and D, which formula should you use? Since you do not know the last term, you have to use the first formula, right? A, N and D, right? So use the first formula, get your answer. So it is S of 20 equals to, N is 20 for you, so we write 20 here within brackets. 2 times A is minus 103 given to you as T1 plus N minus 1, 20 minus 1, right? So let me write 20 minus 1. Normally I will write 19 straight away. And D is minus 7. Minus 7. Correct? Bracket close. It is good to use these square brackets. Divide by 2. Correct? Now at this stage you can always use calculator and calculate your answer. Right? So I'll leave that for you. Second question here is T1 is 31. T2 is 109. Find sum of first 20 terms. So in this case it is kind of simpler. We know T1 is 31, we know T20 is 109, and we want to find S of 20, correct? So we can use this formula. So we say S of 20 is equals to number of terms is 20, N is 20 for us. Let me write N equals to 20 here itself. So we have 20. It's good to write 20 divided by 2 and then add them up, right? So we have 31 plus 109, right? Using this formula, correct? So add them up, multiply by 10 and get your answer. So that is how these questions should be solved. I hope the steps are clear, right? Now you can do questions from your exercise. In case there is any difficulty, let me know. I can help you solve few. Thank you and all the best.